Welcome to Understand the Math. In this video, we're going to learn how to solve rational inequalities. This topic might seem a bit tricky at first, but with a clear strategy, it becomes totally manageable. We'll walk through the key steps and then work through 2 examples together to help you master this. Let's get started. I've outlined 5 steps that we can follow to solve any rational inequality. I'm going to go through these 5 steps one by one as we work through our first example. In our first example, we are going to be solving x minus 4 divided by x plus 1 is less than or equal to 2. The first step in solving a rational inequality is to get 0 on one side of the equation. To get 0 on one side of the equation, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 that's on the right-hand side and we're going to move it to the left-hand side. So this becomes x minus 4 over x plus 1 minus 2 is less than or equal to 0. Now let's look at our second step. It says to combine the terms into a single rational expression. To do that, we are going to have to get a common denominator. And our common denominator is going to be x plus 1. So on the left, we have x minus 4, and then our negative 2 has to get multiplied by x plus 1. And then that is less than or equal to 0. Before we go on to our next step, let's go ahead and let's simplify this. This is x minus 4 minus 2x minus 2, all divided by x plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. And then to save space, I'm going to go over here to the right. Our numerator is going to be minus x minus 6. And then our denominator is x plus 1. And all of that is less than or equal to 0. I'm going to go ahead and highlight this because we're going to need this in a few minutes. Let's now go back up and let's look at the third step. The third step says to find the critical points and plot them on a number line. Let me tell you what the critical points are. The critical points are points where the numerator or denominator equals 0. Let's find the points first where our numerator is equal to 0. Our numerator is minus x minus 6. We'll set that equal to 0. And this is going to give us x is equal to minus 6. Now let's go ahead and let's look at the denominator. Our denominator is x plus 1. We're going to set that equal to 0. And we get x is equal to minus 1. I'm going to highlight these because these are our critical points. Let's now plot these numbers on a number line. We'll just create a number line like this. We'll mark it as x, and then we'll put a minus 6 on it and a minus 1. The spacing totally doesn't matter. Now let's go back up and see what our fourth step is. Our fourth step says to test each interval and determine if the inequality is true or false. Let me show you exactly how to do this. The intervals that we're talking about are this interval, and this interval. They're just the regions between our critical points. What we need to do is we need to find out if our inequality is less than or equal to 0 in those regions. I think one of the easiest ways to do this is to just pick a point in each region, plug it into our inequality, and see what we get. I'm going to go from left to right, so I'm going to look at this region first, and I think a nice point to pick would just be something like negative 10. Our inequality is highlighted in yellow, and that's what we're going to put negative 10 into. In the numerator, we have a minus 10, minus 6, and then in the denominator, we have minus 10 plus 1. This is 10 minus 6 all over minus 9, which is 4 over minus 9, and that is less than 0, so that's good. We can include that region. The numbers in that region make our inequality true. So I'm going to highlight that region is okay. Now let's pick a number between -6 and -1. I'm going to choose -2. Again, the spacing totally doesn't matter. We're going to plug -2 up into our inequality that's highlighted in yellow. And this gives us a minus, -2, -6, all divided by -2 plus 1. On the top, we have 2 minus 6. And then in the denominator, we have -1. This is -4 over -1, which is 4. And that's greater than 0. So that does not satisfy our inequality. Let's go back up here to our number line and let's just put a red there because that region is not included. Now let's go ahead and let's test our last region. This region is actually the easiest because a point in this region is 0, and that'll be our easiest point to test. So we have a -0, -6, all divided by 0 plus 1. And that's just -6 divided by 1, which is -6, which is less than 0. So the numbers in that region are included. Let me go ahead and let's highlight this in green. Now we have to look at our critical points and decide if they are included or not included. Any critical point that comes from the denominator is not included because we can't have a denominator equal to 0. Our x is equal to -1 came from our denominator, so I'm going to put a big open circle here. And then our x is equal to -6 came from the numerator. And notice that we have an equal sign here, so that point is going to be included. I just realized that I did not mark down step 4 here. This was our step 4 right here. Now we're going to go over to step 5. I'm going to put it over here in the middle right. Step 5 tells us to just write our solution in interval notation. Our solution is going to be from -infinity to -6 with a closed bracket at -6, union -1 to infinity with a parenthesis at -1 because -1 is not included. Let's now go on to another example that's a little bit more complicated. In this example, we are going to be solving 2x plus 8 divided by x squared minus 4 is greater than 0. Our first step tells us to get 0 on one side of the equation. That's already done, so let's just say done. Our second step tells us to combine all the terms into a single rational equation. Notice on the left that we only have one term, so that's also already done. So we'll put done for this. That makes it nice. Now let's go on to step 3. Step 3 says to find the critical points. The critical points are going to be where the numerator or the denominator are equal to 0. Let's first look at the numerator. That is 2x plus 8, and we're going to set that equal to 0. That gives us 2x is equal to -8, and we get a solution x is equal to -4. Now let's look at our other critical points. They are going to be where our denominator, x squared minus 4, is equal to 0. This gives x squared is equal to 4, and then we'll take the square root of both sides, and we can't forget the plus or minus. Our solutions are x is equal to -2, and then x is equal to 2. Now let's go ahead and let's draw our number line. And we're going to put our points on it. We have a -4, we have a -2, and then we have 2. Our fourth step says that we are going to test each interval, those are the regions between our critical points, to see if our inequality holds. Let's work from left to right again. And I'm going to pick a point to the left of -4, so let's just say -5. Looking back up to our inequality, that is highlighted in green, we're going to plug in x is equal to -5. So we have 2 times -5 plus 8, all divided by -5 quantity squared minus 4. This gives us a -10 plus 8 on the top, and then 25 minus 4 on the bottom. So we have a minus 2 over 21. That is less than 0. Our inequality sign in our equation is a greater than 0. So we're going to put an X here, and that region is not included in our answer. So I'm going to put red in that part. Now let's look at our next region. I am going to pick minus 3. And before we go on, I am going to rewrite our inequality because it just went off the page. Our inequality was 2x plus 8, all divided by x squared minus 4, and it is greater than 0. And I'll highlight that so that we can find it easily. Now we're ready. We are testing x is equal to minus 3. So wherever we have an x in our inequality, we're going to plug in minus 3. So we have 2 times minus 3 plus 8, all divided by minus 3 quantity squared minus 4. This is minus 6 plus 8, all divided by 9 minus 4. So this is 2 over 5, which is greater than 0. So that one is included. So let's go back up to our number line and let's highlight that in green because that is included. Now let's go to our next region. This region's the best one because we can pick 0. Let's go ahead and let's plug in 0. This is 2 times 0 plus 8, all divided by 0 squared minus 4. So this is just 8 divided by minus 4, which is negative 2, and that's less than 0. And that's not included because our inequality has to be greater than 0. So let's mark that region as a no. Put that in red. And then we'll go ahead and let's test our last region. And I'm going to choose 3. You can choose any number. It doesn't really matter. If we plug in 3 for x, we have 2 times 3 plus 8, all divided by 3 squared minus 4. This gives us a 6 plus 8, all divided by 9 minus 4. Looks like this is going to be positive, and it is. We get 14 over 5, and that's greater than 0. If you can see that it's going to be positive, you really don't have to write down what it's equal to. I just did for completeness. This region is good now, so we'll go ahead and let's highlight that in green. Now let's look at whether our critical points are included or not. The critical points from our denominator, that's the negative 2 and the 2, those are not going to be included because we can't divide by 0. So I am going to put a big open circle at those points. And then the x is equal to negative 4 came from the numerator, but notice in this example, we do not have an equal sign. And because we don't have an equal sign in our inequality, I'm looking right here, our critical point x is equal to negative 4 is also not included. So let's put a big circle there. Now all we have to do is write down our answer in interval notation. Our answer is going to include the regions that we marked in green, and those regions are from negative 4 to negative 2, union, that just means both are included, 2 to infinity. And that's it. The key takeaways for solving these types of problems are always getting 0 on one side, finding those critical points from both the numerator and denominator, and then carefully testing your intervals. Always pay attention to whether your critical points from the numerator are included or excluded based on the inequality sign.
If this video has been helpful to you, please consider subscribing to my channel. Keep believing in yourself and have a great rest of your day.